Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome to each of you this morning. Our class today is our ritualistic month in review for December 2022. Throughout this month, our theme and our studies have all been centering around our gifts. Very appropriate for this month. And some of our gifts are very open and visible. A clear example of that are our senses: smell, sight, sound, touch, taste. They are gifts that we all share, very visible, very open. We all know about them. But remember, some of our gifts are hidden and we keep them under wraps. And some examples of that might be our inner peace, our inner strength. So our invitation for this month has been centering around unwrapping these hidden gifts. And throughout your practice today, just allow my cues to guide you as we review our gifts, both visible and hidden. Namaste. We all have given ourselves this gift of time to be together on our mats. So please give yourself a moment to fully arrive. We begin with this practice of centering stillness. To feel our physical body on our mat. To notice the support of the floor beneath the mat. To notice the air temperature, any sounds within your space. Again, noticing the gentle rhythm of your own breathing. And we have been inviting the breathing meditation of peace begins with me meditation. And maybe today you would like to substitute the word joy for peace, or any other word that is suiting for you today. So please begin with breath in your breathing meditation. As we complete this last cycle, we open into our practice today with an attitude of our gifts, both visible and hidden. With your very next breath, we'll begin some warming movements. The arms begin to reach outwards. They're going to circle all the way up. Let the palms touch. Feel the touch. And then release a deep breath as the thumbs travel to your own heart center. Few more of these big circles through the arms and the releasing breath as your thumbs travel to your heart center. Just to notice the movement. Notice the breath again. And throughout our warming segment today, we will review 3 ways that yoga may help us to unwrap our hidden gifts. And please pause when the arms have been lifted up this time. And just notice the alignment of your body here. Notice the space that you're creating from the inside. And then allow the palms, fingers, thumbs to touch, thumbs to draw back to your heart center. As we all lift our hearts together, we place the palms back down onto our thighs or knees and begin a little stirring of the spine. Creating another circular motion with our body. So one way that yoga might help us in unwrapping our hidden gifts is to stay focused. A good practice with that is to check in with your alignment. Check in with the breath. Stay focused with that. Please complete one more cycle in this direction with your stirring of the spine. Come back into your center. A deep breath here. And begin to stir your spine the opposite direction. Staying focused with our practice allows us to pay attention to our body's wisdom. To notice if the breath is full, rich, and deep, that yes, we're in flow with our body's movements today. If the breath is short, choppy, shallow, or holding, perhaps we're moving too far, too fast. Please complete this last cycle in this direction. And then we'll come back into that center, that one breath with pause. And then we'll include another little sequence for warming today. As the arms reach out again, they circle all the way up. Receive a deepened breath here. Releasing of this breath. Allow the right arm to come down. Reach up through the left arm again, please. And then reach your torso over to the right side. Head can stay neutral or turn lightly over towards the left. Sit bones stay grounded down. Alignment, stay focused, stay connected. A breath brings us back up into our center. A releasing breath begins to let the left arm release down. Let's reach up through those right fingers again. Feel that little bit of extra stretch you create and release. Reaching over to your left side. Again, head can stay neutral or turn lightly over to the right. Let's come back to center together with a deep receiving breath. And then we're going to open both arms through the wingspan, go into a seated twist. Left hand travels over towards the right leg, right arm reaches around. When the fingerprints touch, lengthen your spine. Create space for your body to keep turning into the practice. One more releasing breath with this twist. And a receiving breath brings us back to center. We lift the right arm. We reach out both arms through the wingspan. We turn the palms up. We lift the arms up. We even gaze upwards. Breathing, releasing breath. Arms reopen through wingspan. Palms turn down. Right hand travels over towards the left leg. Left arm reaches around. When the fingerprints touch, lengthen the spine. One more breath. Notice what your body's gifting you with here. Rise up, open all the way out through the wingspan. Circle the arms behind you. Hold on to the opposite forearm, or just hold on to the hands, or palms touch, fingers interlace. Whatever works well for you. Focus on opening through the front body so the collarbones expand, the shoulder blades sink down, the front body opens up, and a releasing breath. Arms start to release, fingers, arms reach out, bow forward, circle the arms forward. Reach through the fingertips. Let's even let the palms face each other here. Thumbs up. Keep reaching through the fingertips. Let's gaze down at our mat or the floor and release into it. Palms come down. Forearms release. Head releases. Bow into this and open through the back body now. One more breath. And then we're all going to come back up into the center. Lift the head lightly. Slide the fingers back towards your body. Feel the torso being lifted back into your center. And the center is with your body. Palms on the legs. Eyes closed or gaze down. Couple of deep breaths. The gifts that your practice is giving you. Notice what you feel now or sense now. And with our very next breath, we open the eyes. We're going to lean back a little bit so that we can unfold the legs, let them stretch out, maybe even a little bouncing behind the knees to let the legs wake up. Then we're going to plant the arms out by our sides. Fingers point away from the body. Now bend the knees. Start to drag the heels in towards the sit bones, but then step them out just a little bit. We're going to go into the seated windshield wipe twist. So the feet are a little bit wider apart than the hips. Arms are reaching out, or maybe for your body, it feels better to reach the arms behind you. Play with it. Gift your body what's right for your practice today. And big, deep receiving breath. A releasing breath. Both knees release over towards the right side. Receiving breath. Let both knees rise back up through the center. Releasing breath. Both knees release over to the left side. Flow with it. Go with it. Breathe with it. And let the body just enjoy these little sensations here. Flowing through. So how is your alignment? Where's the connection of your breath? Go back to visit that just for a breath. And then when your practice is balanced, both sides done equally, back up into the center. Scissor walk the feet back to the hip width apart now. And then Stay with the arms either behind you or outside you, but now we're going to do a little bit of more hip opening through the warming segment. So you're going to reach back, press down into the soles of the feet and just lift the hips up and open up through the front body. Release the breath and bring the hips down. 2 more, please. Lift with a receiving breath. Release your breath. Lower the hips down. 1 more time. We can do this. Rise the hips up wherever it wants to move you. Remember, we're exploring into those hidden gifts today. When the hips are back down, now we're going to go into the figure 4 pattern or upside down pigeon pattern. So we lift the hips up again and we lift up the left foot. Cross the outer left ankle on top of the right thigh. Receive a breath. Gaze up, maybe even lift up just another breath's worth. Release the breath. Now release the hips down. 2 more. Receive. Lift up. When we stay focused, check in with your alignment. Is that left knee open? Are the toes flexed back? Is the collarbones broadened out? So when that last practice is completed, hips are down. Slowly release the left leg. Place the left foot down. We're going to give the wrists just a little reprieve here. So bring the arms forward. Give them a little bit of a circle. Turn the circle around. And then we practice for the opposite side. So we bring the hands and the arms where it's right for us. Maybe it's outside, maybe it's behind. Maybe fingers are pointing out, maybe fingers are pointing away. Maybe today we're folding the fingers in, we're resting on the knuckles. We can do it any way that will gift our body. Receive a deep breath. Here we go again. We press into the soles of the feet. The hips lift up. We lift up the right foot. Cross the outer right ankle on top of the left thigh. Receive a breath. Lift the body with that breath's worth. Release the breath. Release the hips down. 2 more. Rise up with breath. And again, I'm just going to remind us that we're staying focused with alignment and breath to help us uncover some hidden gifts. And when that is completed, yes, you release that right foot down, release the hands and arms, circle the arms forward, make the little circles, slide the heels in towards the sit bones, and give yourself a little hug. Just hug yourself in, bow the head down, and rise back up. Begin to transition to your tabletop. In tabletop today, we're just going to start with a couple of very familiar little spinal waves. Yogi's choice, traditional, toes tucked under, knees hovering, or onto the forearms. Just flow, let the spine flow like a wave. Beautiful warming practice. 1 more time. And when that last practice is completed for you, please everybody return to traditional tabletop. And then we're going to thread the needle with a little modification here today. Begin with a breath. Reach the right arm out to the right side and then lift it up just to the wingspan level. Release the breath. Start to thread that right arm behind the left arm. Palm faces up. Reach that right arm over to the left side. Keep breathing. Keep reaching. To unwrap a hidden gift here. Notice the shape of the body and the shape of the breath. Notice the sensations of release. Notice that there is a little bit of a challenge to let go into these particular shapes that we bring our body in yoga. As we stay strong and centered, That's all a gift. You're using your senses. You're using your inner gifts. As we receive the breath, we're going to lift the head lightly, lift the body, slide the right hand back through and place the right hand back down, tabletop, receiving breath. Left hand lifts up, left arm reaches out to the left side, just to the wingspan level. As you release the breath, the left arm comes down, the elbow bends. We start to reach that left arm over to the right side. We come down towards the left shoulder. We come down towards the left side of the face. We do our practice slowly and deliberately so that we can once again notice some hidden gifts that this practice is offering us that maybe we have never paid attention to before. Notice what it might be for you today. One more breath on this side. And then we'll rise back up together. We lift the body, we rethread the left arm all the way back through. Plant the left palm down, tabletop, receiving breath. Here comes our spinal balance. We're going to begin with the right arm reaching forward and the left leg reaching backwards. Be thorough as you practice here today. Outwardly, you're moving. As you release the breath, you're going to bend the left knee, bend the right elbow, bow the head down, and draw the energy inwards. So the left knee comes up towards the inner left elbow. Here we go. The head is bowing, and then you receive a breath and you reach out. 2 more of these. So we're using our senses. We feel the mat. We're touching it with the knee, the top of the foot. We sense the movement of breath. We see where the fingers are reaching to. And when you receive this next breath, plant the right palm down, but reach the left leg out. Toes pointing down, muscular energizing that back left leg. Then you're going to bring the left leg forward. So the left knee bends. You're going to a low lunge. And you step that left foot forward. Fingertips or palms frame the left foot. We're going into another twist here. Receive a breath. Reach the left arm forward. Rise the left arm upwards. Remember, outwardly you're moving, but inwardly you are uniting body, breath, mind, and spirit. So maybe that left arm is reaching upwards today. Maybe that left hand is just resting on the hip today. Come just to the right fingertips, whether they're on the mat or onto your block, just so you know, I'm engaged. I'm fully focused and deliberately practicing. And then find a gift. Release the breath. The left arm is going to come down. So you either circle it behind you or you reach it out to your side body and bring that left arm back down to your mat. Receive a breath. Step the left leg back. Here we go, opposite side. Receiving breath. Now the left arm is going to reach forward. The right leg reaches back. They rise together. Release. Bend the elbow, bend the knee, bow the head, draw that energy inwardly. Receive a breath, reaching out. Breathe, move. We're focusing on these inner gifts that we've been unwrapping this month. So what has it been gifting you with? And the next time that right leg is going to reach out, plant the left palm down. Reach out through that right leg. Toes pointing down, right leg muscular energized. Then bend the right knee. Step the right foot forward to your low lunge. Look forward. Use your sight. Use your senses. That's a gift. Here we go. With breath, the right arm is going to reach forward. As it lifts up, create whole body skill. Don't hang out in any one particular place. Let your whole body open and turn and gaze upwards into this practice. A receiving breath, reach, and a releasing breath. The right arm is going to come back down to the mat, circles behind or goes out to your side. And as that right palm plants down, the back toes tuck under. And we lift that back knee up. And here we go. Step back, downward facing dog. Walk into the dog or pedal the legs. Let your body come home here into downward facing dog. Yeah. One more breath, one more movement. And then let's everybody lift the heels up as high as they'll lift. Notice your toes. Use your gifted senses. See, feel. The toes are touching the mat. Do you feel the toes equally from side to side onto your mat? Do you feel the palms equally pressing into your mat? Back knuckles of those fingers pressing down? That's the one that needs a lot of reminders on. And as we release a breath, we're going to release both heels down. We're going to go into a little twist again. Pivot onto the balls of your feet and let your body turn lightly over to the right side. So you're coming to the outer edge of your right foot, the inside edge of your left foot. Receive a breath. Let the heels lift up. Pivot back on the balls of the feet through center. Release a breath. Pivot over to the left side. Receive a breath. Heels lift up. Pivot onto the balls of the feet. One more cycle, please. We're beginning to energize here now. So we're going to explore into 3 more ways that yoga may help us uncover these hidden gifts. When we're all back into our center, a nice deep, deep breath. And then very gently begin to transition into another low lunge. Either go to split dog, left leg lifts upwards, or you go back to tabletop and bring that left leg forward. We're going to bring the right knee down, top of the right foot down. Receive a breath. Arms open out. Notice when your body starts to lift away from your thigh. Notice when it feels just right for you to keep exploring, expanding. As the palms turn upwards, do the eyes gaze upwards. As you receive the next breath, let the arms circle all the way upwards. Low crescent lunge. We're unwrapping some hidden gifts here by savoring the sensation of breath. Don't pile more things into the practice than what is. Do less, savor more. Yeah. And with the next releasing breath, let the arms reopen to the wingspan. We're going to bring the palms behind the head. So the elbows bend, the fingers interlace, the palms rest at the back of the head. We gaze up again, and then as we release a breath, we bow forward. Hips hinge us, elbows draw towards each other, head bows down. 2 more of these, please. Remember, for this particular segment, we are exploring how to unwrap some hidden gifts. Here's one way that yoga is helping us. We're doing less. And how do we do that? Well, we savor the sensation of breath with the movement. And then we explore into the inner space that we are creating. And when your third one is completed and you have lifted the body, let the fingers slide apart. Let the arms reopen to the wingspan. Let the hips sink down. That's a gift. And then we're going to do an open twist into a prayer twist. As you release the breath, start to reach the left arm forward. Now, as that left arm reaches forward, make sure that left knee also keeps reaching outwards towards the pinky toe. It wants to fall in. That's not gifting our body. That's coming out of alignment and closing us. So the left knee reaches out, the right arm reaches back, the eyes gaze back towards the right fingers. We receive a breath here. We feel the sensation of breath here. As you release the next breath, the right arm releases down. We're going to come back to center. So feel the hips close, pointing to the top edges of the mat. The arms reach forward, and then the palms, fingers, and thumbs touch. Draw the thumbs back to the heart center. Bow forward. We're going to go into a little prayer twist. And then you slowly start to bring your right elbow over to the inner left thigh on top or the outer side. Breath. Turn. Breath. Experience this present moment. When we do less, we gift ourselves with the present moment. And we'll come back into our center. We slowly come back into the center. Palms touch onto the thumbs to the heart. Eyes gaze up. Arms reach up again. Let them reach. Reopen the arms through the wingspan. Cascade them all the way down. Palms touch the mat, framing the left foot. Back right toes tuck under. Lift the back right knee. Just feel that. And then stretch that left leg back, downward facing dog. Come home here in downward dog. Let's practice that little sequence for the opposite side. Focusing on doing less by savoring more, exploring from the inside, and be present in this moment. We can do this from downward dog. Our breath moves our body. The right leg reaches out, or we go to tabletop to step that right leg forward. We go into a low lunge. As we receive our next breath, the arms open out, the body lifts. We feel the rising, the palms turn up. And then we bend the elbows, interlace the fingers behind the head. Notice the inner strength, trust that your body is giving you as the palms of the hands are resting at the back of the head. And you might feel confident just to reach back a little deeper today. Come back into the center, begin releasing the breath. Begin bowing forward as the elbows draw towards each other. Ready? 2 more. Open. And as you release your deep, long breath, let the body fold. Yeah. And we're all going to join back together with our elbows reaching out wide. Here we are, this moment together. And then we slowly separate the fingers. We reopen the arms. We lift the arms all the way up. We're going into our open twist to the prayer twist. As we release the next breath, the right arm reaches forward. Keep that right knee reaching out towards the pinky toe. And then the body turns to the left. The eyes turn to see the back left fingers. We're reaching out into this open twist. We release the next breath. Left arm releases down. That's all we're doing. We're staying simple, staying present, savor the moment. As the arms rise back up together, palms face. Draw the palms together. Let the thumbs rest at the heart center. Release the breath. Start to hip hinge forward. Turn your body towards the right. Make a home where the left elbow can rest at, inside the right thigh, on top or outer edge. Palms pressed together and you let your body turn, turn. One more turn with breath. Doing less, savoring more. And we come back into our center together. We reach those arms upwards. We open our arms outwards. Gaze down. Palms come down to frame your back, your right foot. Back toes tuck under. Back knee lifts upwards. Reach back to your downward facing dog. However that is best for your practice right here, right now. One more breath with downward dog. And then we're going to visit one more way that yoga can help us uncover some hidden gifts. And that's by pausing with the receiving and releasing breath. So we're going to do a deep receiving breath in downward dog. Hold it for just a moment. Release the full deep breath. Hold it for a moment. Do 2 cycles of that, please. We all begin together. Receive this deep, energizing breath. Hold the receiving breath. Notice where you can go inwardly. Release that deep, deep breath. Hold the releasing breath. Notice here. Receive that next deepest breath. Hold. Release. Hold. And as we all receive that next breath together, we lift the heels up, we let the knees soften, and we start to walk with our walking meditation to the top of our mats. Gifting yourself today by unwrapping some hidden gifts. When the toes are towards the top edge of your mat, soften the knees, please. Take ragdoll arms, opposite hands onto the elbows. Let the elbows grow heavy. Let the arms swing freely. Let the head swing freely. Come back into your center. Pause. And a receiving deep breath. We're going to rise to our upward salute. Arms reach out together. We lift our body. Feel your strength. Feel your courage to rise and lift yourself upwards, all the way through the fingertips. You might be gazing upwards now. And as you release the breath, again, we're going to interlace the fingers, bend the elbows, and then we're going to receive a nice deep breath. And as we release this breath, we're going to lean back, standing little back bend. Firm the glutes, press the pelvis a little bit forward, open the elbows outwards, trust yourself. And as we release our next breath together, we come back into the center. We again reach the arms up together. Create the steeple mudra. Fingers interlace. Index fingers reach up high. We're going into a side stretch. Energize that left leg. Feel the shifting energy as you muscular energize the left leg. Pick up the right heel. Pick up the right foot. Live simply. Be deliberate. Stay focused. And then cross the right thigh on top of the left thigh. You might be on the ball of the right foot outside the left foot. You might be on the sole of the right foot outside the left foot. Rise up again through the steeple. Release the breath and reach over to your left side. Keep breathing, keep moving. So when you know your body's in its fullest shape, pause with the body, receive a deep breath, and hold that receiving breath. You're going to notice some new sensations. Release the breath. Maybe the body can release just a little bit deeper into the practice. Hold the releasing breath. Rise up with receiving breath. Yeah. Micro bend both knees lightly. Pick up the right heel if it was down. Pick up the right foot. Bring it back into your center. Plant the right foot down. Return to this upward salute with the steeple mudra. And as you release that breath, muscular energize the right leg. So pick up the left heel. Pick up the left foot. Reach that left foot to the outside of the right foot. You're hugging the thighs together. And again, you might be on the ball of the left foot outside the right. You might be on the sole of the left foot. Lift again through the fingertips, please. Release that breath. Now begin to reach over to your right side. We're going to just keep breathing and moving until we inwardly know that's the shape my body wants to be today in this practice. Then we're going to receive one deepened breath together. Hold. Notice. Release that deep breath. Hold. Notice. And rise together. All the way up. Soften both knees. Micro bend both knees. Start to pick up that left foot. Start to bring that left foot down. Start to let the fingers slide apart. Cascade your arms all the way back to your side bodies. You're going to notice sensations through the shoulders, arms, even the fingertips, as those arms cascade down to your sides. Mountain pose. 1 or 2 deepened breaths here. Focusing on the gifts that you are unwrapping and how yoga is helping you to explore into these. With our very next breath, we'll do a standing balancing practice with the cloud salutations today. We receive, we open those arms, we let those arms reach up high, we interlace the fingers, create that steeple mudra once again. Begin releasing the breath as the thumbs travel to your heart center. You muscular energize the left leg and you pick up that right foot. Find your drishti. Stay focused, stay strong. Simple gifts. Release the breath. Release the right foot down. Let it receive and rise upwards through the steeple. Begin releasing the next breath as your thumbs travel to your heart center. The right leg muscular energizes. The left knee softens and we pick up that left foot. And we even let the toes flex towards the shin. One more breath. And release all the way back down. Fingers rise back up again. One more flow, please. Yogi's choice. On the rhythm, yogi's choice on the details of the practice. You are gifting yourself. So whatever choices you make, hold close to them. Please complete your last cycle of cloud salutation. Body is equally practiced both sides. We're lifting upwards through the steeple. We're gazing upwards. Let's begin releasing the breath. Soften the fingers, let them slide apart. Open the arms to the wingspan and then go into the ragdoll arms. So the arms are going to circle forward. Feel that movement forward. Bending of the elbows, hands hold on to opposite elbows. Knees start to soften, hips start to sink. Head starts to bow in between the arms. So the arms keep framing our face and the body gets closer towards the thighs. Then we release the arms again, release the head once again. Flow through it, move through it, breathe into it. It's a simple practice, and yoga does teach us on practicing simply with one thing at a time, focusing inwardly, being deliberate. All of these steps help us to live simply on our mat. And maybe that can transfer to off the mat. And that might be another hidden gift. Come back into center with a pause. Place the palms down. Go through tabletop. We're beginning to finish well, so we're going to transition all the way through into supine pose. We're going to review 3 final ways that yoga may help us to unwrap these hidden gifts. And it starts out with the simplicity in what we're doing. So you notice the movement all the way down onto your back body. And when you feel the back body has fully rested onto your mat, knees are bent, feet are flat on the mat. Up both feet, please. Give yourself a gentle hug. Simple. Keeping the practice clear, precise, and simple with each little movement. There's always a gift that's been hiding, that's ready to be awakened. From this simple little hug, we're going to go into the figure 4 practice, upside down pigeon practice with a little variation here today. So from your hug, you start to release the hug just a little bit. Please keep the feet elevated. Now let the left leg stretch out. Bring the outer left ankle to the top of the right thigh. Flex the toes back. Keep the right foot floating in the air. And then take your hands either to the inside of your thigh somewhere or behind the knee. Pick up the head lightly. Tuck the chin in towards the hollow of the throat and then lower the head back down. It's a detail of alignment to keep the neck lengthened. Receive a breath. Get back to breath body. Keep it simple. Release the breath and see if you can hug just a breath's worth. Receive the next breath. Notice. Release the breath. Hug in just a breath's worth. One more. Receive. Notice. Release that breath. Hug the thigh in. Notice. Next receiving breath, you're going to lift up the right leg. Flex the toes back. Release the breath. Bend the right knee and see if the hug will come in another breath's worth. 2 more. Receiving breath. Lift up through the sole of your right foot. Release the breath. Bend the right knee and hug in again. Last time. Keeping it simple. Designating this time for this practice to explore. That's another tool, skill that yoga teaches us. And when that practice is completed for you, release the thigh away from your chest. Release the left ankle from the top of the right thigh. Keep the feet hovering again and give yourself a little gentle hug. Next, releasing breath. You're going to release the hands, but let the hug maintain wherever it's right for you. Open the arms out to the sides. Wingspan with palms up, or sun god with elbows bent. And now we're going into the supine twist. So as you release the breath, both knees begin to release over to the right side. Pause if you like with that breath to really notice sensations, to really focus on alignment. Taking time for certain things. One more breath. You can always bring that block underneath your knees. I hope you all remember that, and we'll go for that. That's gifting yourself. And the next breath, we come back to center. So we lift the left knee up lightly first, and then we follow with the right knee. We bring the hands down to the thighs again to give ourselves a little hug. Then we start to stretch out the right leg. You might release the hug lightly. Bring the outer right ankle on top of the left thigh. Keep the right knee opening out, even if you use your hand just above the knee to give it a little encouragement. Toes flex back, and then the hands come to the left thigh. Outside, behind the knee, receive a breath. Is the chin still tucked? Is the neck still lengthened? Release the breath. Give yourself a little hug, breath's worth. Receive the breath. Pause. Notice. Release the breath. Give yourself another little hug. Receive this breath. Notice. Release the last breath with this hug. And as you receive the next breath, let the left leg stretch out. Sole of the left foot lifting upwards. Release the breath. Bend the left knee. See if there's another little hug in towards the chest. Receive the breath. Left leg is going to stretch out again. As you release that breath, you know, flow with it. Breathe into it. Are there some releasing gifts that this practice is offering you? And when that last one is completed and the hug is in, then we're going to soften the hug, release the hands, release the outer right ankle on top of the left thigh. Both knees stay bent, both feet stay hovering, arms reopen, wingspan or sun god, and release the breath. Begin to release both knees over to the left side. Now if you used a block underneath your knees for the right side, maybe you just go get it, pick it up with your hand, and bring it over to the opposite side. These are little gifts. And when we give ourselves time to do these certain things, we notice the gift that's waiting for us. I'm going to do one more nice deepen breath in this spinal twist. And then together we're going to come back to center. We start to lift the right knee a little, bring it back. Then we let the left knee follow and come back to center. Again, we give ourselves a little gentle hug and we roll from hip bone to hip bone. And that's maybe one of the favorite little gifts that you give your body in your yoga practice. Our last review of a way that yoga might help us to uncover these hidden gifts is developing rituals. This massaging of your lower back, hip, kidney area to close yoga is a ritual. Your entire class is laid out in a ritualistic pattern. So how can you take that off the mat and incorporate it into your life Go back to center, pause. Thank your body. And begin to let both legs elevate together, with or without support. You're practicing from your home, your safe space. You can even transition and move over to an open wall. Let the wall support your legs. Just notice here as you begin to settle. The breath body, the movements of your mind. Just a little reflection on some hidden gifts that you have unwrapped in your yoga practice this month. With your next releasing breath, begin to slowly transition into Shavasana. One leg slowly comes down to the mat, followed by the other. Shavasana is a practice of completely letting go. So even the feet fall apart from each other. Because just to keep the toes lifted is using muscular energy. Shavasana is about completely letting go. So we just let them fall apart. We notice the release. And I know in my own personal practice, when I could finally give myself the gift of time to do nothing and really relax in Shavasana, I felt my feet fall apart and I felt that release. And it's a gift every single time. Our Shavasana reading today comes from a woman named Christelle Choprad. She is an author and also the founder of Dharmi. Christella tells us, gifts can be interpreted in many ways. It doesn't always have to be in a material manifestation. Sharing quality times with our loved ones through the holidays is a gift in itself. Each breath is a gift. So is our heartbeat. Our inspirations to lighten up and our relationships. Consider your inner potentials, characteristics, values, and talents that can awaken and nurture in our daily lives. Our inner gifts. We are all aware of the importance to feel good, find balance, and to create a healthy, happy, quality life. Gently draw your awareness to that place between your eyebrows, expanding that awareness into your space, and the wiggling through your toes, ankles, wiggling through your fingers, wrists. And we softly place the left palm at our heart center, right palm across our belly, nourishing our body with several deep, refreshing breaths. Invite your next breath to awaken you as you give your body an awakening stretch. And we begin to bend our knees, turning all the way onto our right side. And begin rising into your seated pose. In our easy seated poses with our Anjali Mudra, we begin bowing forward, thanking our body today for the gifts it gave us, and thanking ourselves for showing up on our mat today. We rise together and close together. Namaste.